Hey, if you're the kind of person who thinks all scary stories are fake, just creepy little tales for clicks and views, I used to agree with you. But then something happened, and I realized some stories are warnings. So before you go to bed tonight, let me tell you 3 stories. They're not the usual campfire crap. These are stories you'll wish you never heard. Story 1. The final live stream. Hey, can I tell you something strange? It's about this guy I used to follow on a really small streaming platform. Not Twitch, not YouTube, some off-brand site that barely anyone used. His name was Tyler. Honestly, he wasn't anything special. Just another gamer, late-night streamer, always talking to a chat that didn't exist. But one night, he titled his stream, "This Stream Ends Everything." I don't know why, but I clicked on it. Maybe out of boredom. Maybe it was curiosity. But the second I joined, I got this weird feeling, like I wasn't supposed to be there. At first it was just him on camera. Messy room, bad lighting, you know the type. He was quiet for a while. Then he looked straight into the lens and said, "I'm done." No one cares. No one's watching. But that's when it got weird. Because the second he said that, the viewer count jumped. 1, 2, 7. Then suddenly, 70. Then over 100. Tyler noticed it too. His eyes widened, and he leaned in, squinting at the screen. "Who are you people?" he said. "Where did you all come from?" And then, this is the part that makes my stomach turn. The stream glitched. For a second, it cut from his webcam to a different camera angle. Still his room, but it was showing him from behind. But here's the thing. There was no second camera. He even turned around, checked his setup. Nothing. Still the same single webcam. But the angle stayed, like someone else was watching him from inside the room. The chat exploded. Messages flew by. "Keep going. We've been waiting. Show us everything." His voice shook a little when he said, "Is this some kind of joke?" And then, the lights in his room flickered. Not like a power issue, more like a warning. A pulsar. He reached out to shut off the webcam, but the plastic was melting. No joke, I saw it. It started dripping like wax. The screen went black. No goodbye, no ending. Just pitch black. But the stream, it stayed live. For hours. Next morning, it had over 1 million views. But Tyler's account, deleted. Like it never existed. No replays, no username, nothing. Just that one stream stuck on loop. And the creepy part, people still comment on it. Right now. I checked last night. The chat's still active, still growing. And every now and then, someone new disappears. Maybe I shouldn't have watched it. Maybe you shouldn't either. But I just had to tell someone, because the last comment I saw was my username, and I didn't type anything. Story 2, The Wrong House. All right, so, I ever tell you about the time my cousin walked into the wrong house? No, seriously. It's one of those stories that sounds fake, until you realize he hasn't talked about it since. So, his name's Ryan. Kind of a smart-ass, thinks he's tougher than he is. One night, he got invited to a party out in the suburbs. One of those rich neighborhoods where every house looks like it was copy-pasted. It was late. Maybe 10:30, almost 11. And he was a little buzzed. Not drunk, but loose enough to stop paying attention. He parks, walks up to this 2-story house, hears music faintly through the walls, and sees the porch light on. Doors unlocked. So he just walks in. The lights are low, but he sees shadows moving around. People, right? Figures in the kitchen, one upstairs, someone on the couch. Nobody says anything. Just silence and movement. He's like, "Yo, weird party vibes." But still, He goes in. He grabs a soda off the counter, calls out, "What's up? Where's the music at?" Still nothing. Then he starts really looking at the people. They're standing, not talking, not moving much. Like mannequins. One of them, this guy near the hallway, was just staring at the wall. Not blinking. Just standing there. Ryan's like, "Okay, what kind of freak show did I walk into?" So he turns around, ready to leave, and the door's gone. Not closed, not locked. Gone. Wall. Just flat drywall where the front door should have been. He panics, obviously. Runs to the kitchen. No windows. The shadows? Gone. And then he hears something upstairs. Footsteps. But not like walking, like skittering, like something running on all fours. Fast. Ryan bolts for the back of the house. Still no doors, no exits. Everything's sealed like the house isn't a house at all, more like a box. And then he hears a voice. Not from a person, from every direction, like it was inside the walls. It said, "You weren't invited." That's when the walls started. Pulsing, like they were breathing. He doesn't remember how he got out. Seriously. He said 1 second he was screaming. Next second he was standing on the sidewalk, 5 houses down, heart racing, hands shaking. The real party? It was at number 217. The house he walked into wasn't on the map. It doesn't show up in satellite view. Doesn't have an address. But Ryan still swears he was inside it. And sometimes, late at night, his GPS still tries to take him back there. Story 3. The Silent Follower. This last one. This one still keeps me up. It happened to a girl I used to talk to online. Emily. Quiet, smart, always posting art and photos from her walks. She lived in a small town, pretty boring place. 1 road in, 1 road out. She started noticing something weird around fall. Leaves were turning, school was ending early, and she kept seeing this guy. Not anyone she knew. Not a neighbor. Just a guy. Every time she walked home from class, he'd be across the street. Not following her exactly, just always nearby. Standing, watching. She described him in a post once. Black hoodie, jeans, no phone, just still. Like a bad dream you half remember. Everyone told her it was probably a coincidence, until he showed up in her selfies. She'd post a pic in the school courtyard, and in the background, there he was, blurry, standing. She started checking her windows, setting up cameras, locking everything. One night, she heard scratching at the back door, then a knock, then silence. She waited, frozen. An hour later, she opened her front door. Nothing, except an envelope. Inside was a photo of her, sleeping, no caption, no prints. Just her, asleep, from across the room. She moved out 2 days later, deleted all her accounts, ghosted everyone. I haven't heard from her since. But sometimes when I scroll through random Reddit threads or old Instagram tags, I still see that guy, blurry, standing, watching, like he's moved on to someone else. Maybe even you still think horror stories are just fiction? I used to. But after what I've seen, I don't laugh at them anymore. Some stories warn us, some stories trap us, and some are still being written, one listener at a time. If you hear scratching at your door tonight, don't open it. Thanks for listening. Stay safe. And don't forget to check the background before you turn off the lights.